In 2013, publisher THQ would file for bankruptcy. All of their main IPs would go to other publishers like South Park going to Ubisoft, but important to this video is the WWE license. That will go to 2K Sports. During this time, since that year's WWE game 2K14 had already been in active development, it would still be the last classic THQ and Yukes formula, with the 2K branding anyway. Now in 2014, WWE would make the jump to 8th generation of consoles with the PS4 and Xbox One, and they would show off images and videos. Holy shit, man, 2K15 looks good! Wow, I cannot wait to look at the new animations, I cannot wait to play.
They fucked it up. Yeah, they fucked it up big time. So, let's take a look at how 2K15 shockmastered its way onto the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
The two most glaring changes made to this game is obviously its new graphics and the gameplay. Starting with the graphics, for the time they were actually pretty damn decent. The WWE games, despite being a year late to the 8th gen, I think did help in this department. I will say, however, some of the people in this game look very funky. Why does John Cena look pissed off 24/7? Did they scan his face after he had a bad day or something? Or Shawn Michaels? Who is this? That is not HB Shizzle. It's almost like they didn't actually scan his face and just use a reference image as a sculpted. Apart from those small blunders, everybody else on the roster looks really fucking good in my opinion. Speaking of the roster, it's actually really stacked here, and because I actually have access to the DLC this time, I also have the full DLC minus the WCW pack and the Hogan stuff because that was nuked off every storefront. Seriously, even if you owned it, they removed it. But the roster has pretty much everything for everyone. You have the current 2014 WWE roster, older versions of guys like Jericho and Randy Orton, and they actually gave us a lot of Ruthless Aggression era content and even some content from the early 2010s. This was also the first WWE game to really put any stock into the NXT roster. I guess you could count the Nexus DLC from SBR 2011, but up to this point, the only NXT representation had been just the arena or a small mention in the story mode. By 2014, NXT had ditched the game show motif and pretty much became what FCW was, but this game made an effort to have a small but decently sized NXT roster. Adrian Neville, a playable Corey Graves, Sami Zayn. This game also had a dedicated NXT DLC that added the Ascension, and fun fact, this DLC was actually supposed to include the Certified G, Enzo Amore, how you doing? Also not to mention, this game was marked as the first official WWE game appearance of the Stinger. Sting was the pre-order bonus for this game, and you actually get two versions, both 1991 Sting and the 99 Crow Sting. Despite the hate 2K15 got, and still does get deservedly so, you can't deny that the 2K15 roster was actually pretty stacked. Now, on to the most divisive part about this game, in my opinion, the gameplay. I'm pretty sure everyone just expected the Control-C, Control-V 2K14's gameplay in the 2K15, and I'm sure even I did too back then. No one would complain about that, but the game is just slow. The game is slow and clunky, like Tekken 3 slow, just not as good as Tekken 3. Now, it can't be bearable, it isn't bad enough, at least not for me, but this was, in my opinion, the official part of where 2K was trying to make the WWE games a complete sim. On the bright side, we still do have the arcade weapon physics, which is good, but keeping with the realistic theme, this game does add some things that I actually think are cool small details. 2K15 saw the debut of tired finishers, tired pins, and charged finishers. This also saw the debut of the percentage thing instead of the momentum meter. Animations for the moves are solid too. I'm not sure if this was a glitch or actually intended, but this game has some jank-ass ragdoll physics, which I am all here for, honestly. I kind of wish these would return someday. 2K15 also saw the official debut of the chain wrestling mechanic. At the beginning of the match, when you start a grapple, you and the AI select one of the face buttons and use the right stick to find the sweet spot and fill up the circle. And we also saw the debut of tired pinfalls. You see what I mean? This is when they really started to become more pick up and play and more simulation, which, even I'm gonna be honest, just being able to pick up and play is the smarter option for me 9 times out of 10. Like, when my dad wants to play a wrestling game and I have to sit there and explain it to him how everything works, I'd rather just play No Mercy and he'll learn how to do it in 10 seconds, you know? But it is now time, shout out Howard Finkel, to talk about, in my opinion, the best part about this game, the Showcase mode. On launch, this game came with 2 full showcase modes, starting off with the Hustle, Loyalty, Disrespect, which focuses on the John Cena and CM Punk feud of 2011 to 2013. And CM Punk being in this game at the time was very surprising because he had been gone for months by this point. I'm honestly surprised WWE didn't try and get him removed. If they did, I guess Yukes just told him to fuck off, which, good on Yukes. Now, I guess, unhappy to report that the QuickTime events do return, but they actually look really damn good in the new engine and graphics. This was right around the time where almost every game had QuickTime events. Like, I remember Mortal Kombat X the next year had QuickTime events, and it was like, why in Mortal Kombat? But replaying the Cena and Punk showcase was really fun, just as it was back in 2014. It spans all the way from Money in the Bank 2011 and ends on Raw in 2013, and I like how the majority of it is Punk and Cena, but we also see some appearances of Rey Mysterio, real-life asshole Alberto Del Rio, Kevin Nash, and Sally The Rock. Once again, you complete various objectives and get rewarded with these great cutscenes, and it's a simple premise, but I really just want to talk about the small attention to detail in the HLD showcase, like the fact that John Cena will actually talk during his entrance.
Where I started. I used to walk the concourse to this place. The question is, which one of these champions will be defending the WWE title the next time we come to you on pay-per-view in 5 weeks for Night of Champions? Well, whether you like John Cena or not, everybody respects him.
This was the first time that this was in a WWE game to my knowledge, and it blew me away back in 2014. I was like, what? They can talk now? Stupid now, but back then this was pretty cool and groundbreaking, at least for me. I also appreciate how in certain matches they use the actual audio from the broadcast.
I heard a bell. No, I just want you tapped out. I heard it in the clutch, he tapped out. Do the right thing. I think there is a right thing. I heard a bell. I know you two got something going on. Listen to them. Listen to them. Let them decide. Let them decide. You want to have a tweet about it? Let them decide. Listen to them.
Restart the match.
What? But for the first time ever, we have more than one showcase mode. The second showcase, at least on disc, is the Best Friends Bitter Enemies, which follows the rivalry between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. In a way, this is kind of the showcase that really ignited my love for the Ruthless Aggression era. I was born in 07, and by the time that I really got into wrestling, WWE was a good 2 years into their PG era. Now, thankfully, because of my uncle, I had a lot of hand-me-down DVDs from that era, but this showcase really ignited my love for that particular era of wrestling. And I think that 2K and Yukes did a great job showcasing all the important moments, like Shawn's return at SummerSlam 02, even having the first chamber match, which is insane. They actually got everybody to do that. If you notice, they have been able to really select the most notable matches without having to cover every single one. Also, I'm happy this showcase exists because we got evolution versions of Randy Orton and Batista. Now, at launch, or if you just bought this game used today, there would only be 2 showcase modes, but thanks to my good friend Tony, who actually bought the DLC back in 2014, I'm able to use them due to Game Share, and I gotta say, the DLC showcases are pretty solid. The first DLC showcase we're going to talk about is the One More Match showcase, which follows the 2011 feud with Christian and Randy Orton. And now that it's 2025, I'm happy this was chosen, because for me anyway, 2011 WWE is kind of a blur for me. Like, I remember the punk stuff, but I think I was honestly watching a lot of more TNA in late 2010, early 2011. And I honestly could not tell you why, there's no particular reason. I do have one question, however. Why does the majority of the showcases focus on recent events, at least at that time? This isn't a complaint, just a thought that I had. The second DLC showcase was the Hall of Pain, which focuses on the career of Mark Henry, and I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty fun to play. Only knowing this run through retrospectives and such was pretty cool to relive this through a video game, and it's relatively short. I beat it in about an hour and 30-ish minutes. And the final DLC showcase is the Path of the Warrior, and I gotta say, this might be my favorite out of the DLC. I had always watched this showcase on YouTube, but never was actually able to play through it until now. Recently, I've actually been going back and watching a lot of late 80s, early 90s wrestling, and this showcase makes me enjoy it more. It covers pretty much every major Warrior match, even doing the Hogan and Warrior match at Mania 6, making it appear in back-to-back games, and I gotta say, it's honestly a lot better here. Wow, I just said 2K15 did something better than 2K14. Yeah, this video's getting disliked as shit. Anyway, we also have Savage vs. Warrior, and let me tell you about this fucking match, okay? I haven't really mentioned it yet, but I hate this game's pinfall system with a passion. I fucking hate it. I feel like the meter's just way too fast for you to properly react in time, and it led to me having to redo this match a good 4 times. Finally, I just got fed up and dropped the shit to easy. Yeah, I can cheat too, you rotten bastards. Showcase to me is by far the best part of the entire game, but there's one more mode in 2K15. For the first time since 2008, we have a fleshed out and proper career mode, but first we need to make our own superstar. In 2K14, I talked about how good and fleshed out the cost suite is, so I gotta ask, what the fuck happened here? It's garbage, man, but the My Career mode itself, it's okay. You kind of just wrestle. I don't really have that much to say about it. Wasn't the biggest fan of it in 2014, and that really hasn't had changed. I guess you could say it sucked back then, and it sucks forever. But that was 2K15, a mediocre debut on 8th generation that does some things well, but really fucked up a lot of things. Hopefully, when I cover 2K16, it's been a while since I've played 2K16, hopefully, in retrospect, it did a lot of things better and is a much better sequel. With that being said, do all the YouTuber stuff. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subs before the year ends, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. I'm out.